Morning YouTube. This video is about melting gold and silver, but I just wanted to update you a little bit on the foundry that I built in a couple videos. I did the foundry itself and I did the burner by itself. As you can see here, it's in. We tested it and everything worked fine. Had several kind of major problems on this. One was the post office kept losing everything that I needed to complete it. Regulators, they lost one of my regulators, and so I lost a month. Then they lost one of my graphite crucibles that was like 2 months, and I got busy in the shop, so I just didn't get there to get it recovered. So then I started checking into tools, and oh my goodness, tools are expensive. So I've started building tools. Every good foundry needs a set of tongs. Now these tongs are just, these aren't, I didn't build these. These are like barbecue tongs. The next item here is for a crucible for just doing aluminum. And I'll show you that here in a minute. And the next tool beside that is also for that, the one with the blue handle here that has a hook in the end. I don't know if you can see the hook, but there it is. Okay, the next one is just a rebar with this one here with the green handle, and that's for stirring in your flux into your aluminum to take so you can get all the dross off it. But that you stir in salt. Just regular old salt, non-iodized salt. But this one here with the red handle is for scraping off the top of the dross. Here, let me just demonstrate this a little bit. So it's got, this is like number 4 rebar. It's a little bitty rebar. And this is a piece of angle iron. I just cut it and rounded the edges. So what you do once the dross comes to the surface, you stick this in and scrape it out and dump it. So you have a more pure pour when you do your pours. So I made all of these out of that rebar, as you can see. So one of this other one I was going to show you is for I built this crucible also. It's out of a piece of old rusty pipe that I had laying around, welded some ears on it. But this tilts it so you can pour. See, it will tilt it all the way over. I only have one hand, so I can't make it stop. So that's the crucible. This deal here, it looks strange, and it is, but what you do is, I can't squeeze it up high like you're supposed to, but you take it down and put it in one ear and in the other ear. That way you can pull it up out of the foundry. Then when the other piece hooks on, that's how you tilt it. It goes over like yo, and then you pour it in your molds. So I made all of those tools. So I started looking at molds to pour in. And you can use cupcake tins or things like that to pour aluminum, but I wanted something a little bit better than that, so I made this. And this is a mold. It's made out of angle iron. See, there's 2 pieces. I think these are 6-inch pieces, and 6s on the ends, and a piece of pipe here for a handle. And once you pour your molten aluminum into here, you're going to have a triangular piece when it comes out. If it doesn't come out easy, you do that, and that's how you get it out. So that was another thing. And the last thing, I've got some graphite molds, and crucibles, and the tools for those are pretty pricey, so I decided I would make my own, as I do with all my stuff. And I threw this around on the floor a little bit, but here it is. This tool reaches in from above. Then as you squeeze these handles here, like I said, I only have one hand here, you grasp the crucible and lift it up out of the foundry, then you can use the same tool. You don't have to change to anything else and just turn it on its side, because now you've got the crucible. Now you just turn it over like that. So that's why you haven't seen any more on the foundry. I had to build all this stuff, and so now we'll go to the crucibles, what this video is about. Okay guys, these are the crucibles that you use to melt various metals. These are the two I made, this short one here and the big one you saw just earlier in this clip. Those two crucibles do not have to be seasoned, and to season them, you put them in an oven at 400 degrees for about an hour, and it prevents a problem that I've seen a lot of people have on YouTube, is they crack their crucible, whether it's a dish crucible like this one or a graphite crucible like this. And a lot of times the problem is they weren't seasoned. So that's the number one thing you have to do, is season those. This one, and this one you do not. As you can see, let me see if I can run you in on this a little bit. Right here, these three dish crucibles have been seasoned and I've used them. They come in various sizes. This one's a little bit bigger. These two are smaller. You can see the borax in the bottom on these two. You can't see it so much on this one. This one's really old and this is about to go away. This crucible over here is a cup crucible. This one has not been seasoned, and it probably won't be, because if you look, it's chipped on two sides, and I'm afraid it won't hold up. Over here, I don't know if you can see this. This is a small crucible, as you can see inside it here. This is a graphite crucible also, and you can take it and pour it like this. You can pour your gold or silver, or you can grab it in the groove here. Whoops, I got caught in the welding table. Sorry about that. I have to do this in my welding table. So you could pour it this way. And these are just regular tongs. And this crucible and these tongs, and actually this little mold, which I'll use when I start doing the silver and gold, that mold, you can pour various gold bars or buttons. You know, these aren't big. I don't want to pour a lot of gold or silver into bars, so I think I got this whole set here, these three, and I think this crucible over here, this one, came with that, and I think it was like $16, $18 on Amazon. Now these dish crucibles here are basically the same. These are ceramic, where these are fire clay, these three and that one over there. These are ceramics. And these are made for a lot for if you're going to melt with a torch. Don't do it with a propane torch. You can if you got all day. If you're just making a button, if you're wanting to actually pour into a mold and make a bar, don't use propane. Either use MAP gas or use propane with oxygen. And you can get those bottles at Home Depot or any of the stores up there. The oxygen and propane mix, you get a little torch. I think they sell a kit. It's the torch and the two hoses, and you got to balance both of those as just like you're welding with an acetylene torch. But I don't do that. I just use MAP gas, and it gets the job done. Especially on the silver, it's a little bit easier. This is called a whip. This is, again, you can heat right in this tool and pour, and you know, it holds it on its edge. And this dish is a little bit bigger than these, but it'll take all three of those dishes. So anyhow, that's it for the crucibles. It's an important part of doing any pour, but they do have to be seasoned. If they're not seasoned, they will crack, and you'll lose you won't lose your gold. It'll still be there, but I mean, it won't be what you want it to be. It's going to be a blob, and instead of being able to pour into a bar. So that's it for now. I'm going to have to season these three, and I haven't done that yet. And then what we do after we season them at 400, we take borax, and let me show you that. So this is the borax. This is borax glass, and this is for industrial use, like we do when we season the crucibles and for various fluxes. So this one, you don't get this at Home Depot or Lowe's or anywhere like that. There's a place in Nevada. For the life of me, I don't remember the name of it right now, but they sell this. They sell boric acid in these containers, and silica glass, you know, depending on what your flux mixture is and what you're trying to do. But this is what we season with, and what we'll do is this is what we finish the seasoning with. After we've cooked these at 400 for an hour, we take and with a torch we heat them, and you sprinkle this in, and it's just a powder. This is more granular than some. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, there you go. This is almost like sugar, it looks like in here, but you just take that and sprinkle it until you glaze the entire inside of that dish. Clear up on the edges, you know, you go clear up on these edges and the inside, and you keep the torch on it the whole time. So then when you get to melting your gold, two things you want to do is you slowly heat these ceramic crucibles up, very slowly, get them up to melting temperature, and after you're at melting temperature, you get your mold close to where you're working. If you're working with this one, well, let's say we're working with this one, get in here, and you have to have your mold hot also. Well, not hot, but warmed up, so when you pour, it doesn't chill the material you're pouring and solidify right away, and you don't get a bar, you get a weird looking piece. So you want to get that warm enough where it's not going to take all the heat away right away out of your pour. So that's basically all I can tell you about crucibles. One other thing I'd like to show you, and actually it's something I forgot. These two crucibles here, this is the number 4, this is the number 3. These haven't been seasoned either. These are graphite crucibles. I'll use these for melting copper and brass. I don't know, and I'll make bars out of them to start with before I start pouring. I want to do some sand casting and pouring things in sand, but these crucibles the same way. They've got to be at 400 degrees in an oven for an hour, just to get them seasoned. So if you right away try to get them up to 1900 degrees or 2000 degrees without seasoning them, it'll shock that graphite and they'll crack. And again, you don't want to do that. So this time it is the end for the crucibles. I want to show you one other thing. Okay, what I wanted to talk about a little bit was safety. These are heavy leather boots that I use for welding and I use for when I'm plasma cutting. And seen too many guys pouring molten metal in flip-flops. Don't do that. Cover your legs. I wear jeans in the shop all the time. There's no shorts in here. Can't have it. You're dealing with molten metal. It's going to splash at times. Things happen, and you don't want to be in shorts and flip-flops. You also want to have at least welding gloves. These are the ones I use. I don't remember where I got these. I think these are from Grizzly for, I don't remember why I got these there, but anyway, you can get welding gloves anywhere, and they're fairly cheap, to like $10 or $12. Also, this is a leather apron. Heavy leather, as a matter of fact. It's really good. It's saved me a couple times with things, as you can see here. I use it when I'm grinding or when I'm forging with this little forge right here. This so you don't get burnt. Set your clothes on fire, you know, and this comes down to below my knees, so This is good, and this was rather cheap too. I think I got this online somewhere for $10, $12, $15 something. This is a face shield. Again, you get molten metal in your face and you're going to be hurting. And I've seen people with just sunglasses on, and I see crazy stuff being done. It's not safe. You want to have the proper safety equipment to do this, and you only screw up once, and then you'll deal with it the rest of your life. So be safe. So thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. See you on the next one.